Today on Judge Faith, a hair battle comes to an epic conclusion in court when a school teacher accuses her hairstylist of maliciously cutting revenge bald spots into her scalp.
She cut my hair, lined it up again, and spritzed it. I have naturally curly hair. I have no perm. So when the spritz broke down and I was combing my hair, two big old malicious patches was missing out my hair.
She is a chair hopper.
So you think she intentionally cut two patches out of your hair?
Yes, I do.
Carla Drew decided to come into the salon with a fully packed house, yelling and hollering, basically trying to fight me, and also decided she wanted to try to pepper spray me when I began to defend myself.
You can't expect to go into a salon and put all of these chemicals in your hair and walk out looking like Becky with the good hair.
And later, a barber and a businessman battle over a big deposit put down to buy a popular Manhattan hair salon.
If he want to buy, then to come and to give me 10,000 deposit, non-refundable, and to sign agreement.
I was in the party and I was speak to somebody who's in the business, and he just said, I know this guy, and it happened to me too.
What authority do you have to sell a business that you don't own?
Plaintiff Carla Drew says the defendant is an unprofessional hairstylist and she purposely caused scalp damage while working on her hair. She's suing for hair repair and emotional distress. Defendant Remy Jackson says she doesn't know because Carla is a troublemaker who damaged her own hair and then attacked her with pepper spray in the salon. She's countersuing for medical expenses and pain and suffering.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Drew versus Jackson.
Thank you, Juan. Carla Drew?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were suing the defendant, Remy Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
For $3,500 you say she owes you for hair repair and emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are countersuing, ma'am, for medical expenses and pain and suffering.
Yes.
So you are a stylist at a salon. Is it in the Phoenix, Arizona area?
Yes.
Okay, and how long have you been a hairstylist?
I've been a hairstylist for 17 years.
17 years, okay. And you were one of her clients at the salon, correct?
For that day, for those two occasions, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. So we'll start with you, Ms. Drew. Tell me what happened here, because you're suing over, you say, damage to your hair.
Remy maliciously cut my hair. I really believe she knows me. I don't know her, but she maliciously cut my hair.
What do you mean she knows you?
Me and the owner have been in a relationship, had a relationship for 10 years, the owner of the shop.
Okay, so you've been going there for a while.
The original owner, I have been wearing color for the last 6 years, since 2009, 2010. Well, I called the owner, told the owner I was ready for a change because I was sick of my hair. I was ready for a change. I wanted my hair a short mohawk.
So what happened? How did you end up seeing this stylist, another stylist who worked at the salon?
The owner said she was really, really busy, and she said that she ranted and raved about Remy. She said Remy was very good. She has a lot of clientele, and Remy's very good with color and very good with cut.
So let me ask you this, because you go and you see Miss Jackson twice, not once, but twice at the salon. What did she do the first time?
The first time she did my hair, I asked her to do my highlights, but make them a little lighter, blonde. I had a honey blonde.
And what was the problem with how she did your hair?
The color she did was brownish burgundy. She redid my color and turned it to a darker color.
What's going on? What do you say happened the first time?
Carla Drew came into the salon. I've only been in this salon since October. The first time I did her hair was in December, and I cut and I colored her hair.
The blonde, she wanted the blonde.
Yeah, she always had blonde hair in her hair. It was no problem, other than the fact that she doesn't take care of her hair, and it's always unmanaged.
But you tried to service her in the way she wanted. She wanted the blonde hair.
Absolutely.
And did it come out purple or brown, as she described?
Carla did not want bleach in her hair. Her hair was already lifted to a certain color. She didn't want any more bleach added into her hair.
So how were you able to do that?
Basically, what it is the developer that we use is a higher developer than what's normal, which is 40 volumes, so I was able to lift the color. I also explained to her...
And developer is the product that you use in the salon to change the color of the hair.
Absolutely.
She came back 10 days later?
Yes.
Okay, what did she say the issue was when she came back 10 days later?
I wanted lighter. You can't get lighter hair without bleach, Carla. But I don't want any bleach. All right, so I'll try to work it out, which I did use an enzyme that is a higher lift. It lightened.
Did you tell her you didn't want bleach in your hair to lighten?
I did not tell her that. Let me show you the color I wanted.
I'm just asking you a question. Did you tell her no bleach?
No, because I knew that I wanted this color. No.
So you never had that conversation, told her no bleach?
I did not tell her I wanted any bleach, no. Because I always be getting bleach, because I always be getting highlights.
Let me see the final product.
This
the
is the
final
color I
look
wanted.
of the hair.
This is what I
She
wanted.
didn't want any bleach.
Is that your hair?
No, this is the color I wanted.
Okay, but do you have a photo
Yeah.
of what your hair looked like when you left the salon?
Oh, yeah,
No,
I do.
she
I do.
doesn't.
Yes, I do.
No,
here
she
you go, right
doesn't.
here.
She doesn't have
How do you know what photo she has? How do you know she didn't take
Well, here
photos?
it goes
One,
right here.
she gave me the photo.
This is the
She
final
looks like she
provided
takes a
the
good
photo.
selfie.
This
I'm
is
just
the
saying.
final
She looks
photo.
like she takes a
provided
good
the
selfie.
photo.
This is a final photo of everything of when she cut my hair. I don't have the original with the brown and burgundy. I don't have that.
I understand that, but this is the final photo.
Right.
No.
That's the.
How do you?
I'm,
How do you know
She
what
left
I'm looking
satisfied
at?
out the salon
this is
that
her.
day.
This is her personality. This is her.
And so this is a photo of you after the second time when you wanted your
Yes.
hair lightened.
Yes.
Okay, you want to take a look at this? And you were unsatisfied because it's not light enough?
That color I was satisfied with. She got there, but the color to the first original was brownish burgundy.
I understand that, but now she's corrected it, and you're telling me you were satisfied with that?
Yes.
Okay, so why are we here?
She cut my hair, lined it up again, and spritzed it. I have naturally curly hair. I have no perm. She spritzed it, put me under the dryer. I don't wash my hair every day. So when the spritz broke down and I was combing my hair, 2 big old malicious patches was missing out my hair, which I had the evidence, the pictures.
Really?
Wait, you say missing out of your hair?
Yes, cut out my hair.
So you think she intentionally cut 2 patches out of your hair?
Yes, I do.
Why do you say that this stylist would intentionally cut bald spots in your hair?
I think that she was mad over me telling her boss and me telling exactly what happened, telling about my color. It was done malicious.
Okay, so did you do that? Did you maliciously cut?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Okay.
She is a chair hopper. I have listing records of how many times.
I know what a chair hopper means.
Yeah.
That means someone who goes to different stylists.
From different stylists, and
that
not
is
just in our
totally
salon.
irrelevant to the question I just asked you, which
No,
is...
I did not.
I just want to be clear. You're saying you did not do that. That did not happen.
Absolutely not,
You
Your
would never
Honor.
do that.
I would never do that to any of my clients. She booked an appointment after this particular appointment for her to come in.
Did you?
No, I did not.
Let me see your photos of your
Sure.
bald spots.
And let me show you
say.
the Dr. Stone dermatologist.
A dermatologist can't tell you
Because they did
anything
a
about
skin
cosmetics.
cancer
Don't
she
talk.
test on me.
Just give me the evidence.
Oh, let me show the photos. Did he give them to me? Here they are. And other hairdresser statements.
Girl, bye. Probably the one who did it to your hair was another stylist.
It's hard to see anything, really, in these
Very,
photos.
very hard.
What day do you say this incident happened? What day? It has to be what, in May?
Yeah, it was May. I think.
May the 4th was
May
the
4th.
last date that she came in and got
May
her hair.
4th.
No,
Okay.
I found out like May 15th then. It was like 10 days.
10 days later, that's when you found out you had
Yes.
2 bald spots in your
Yes,
head, as you claim?
2 bald spots.
Because I'm about to tell you. Because
No. 10 days. I want to know
Yes,
dates.
that's true, yes.
10 days.
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
May 15th. When do you find out that she's accusing you of shaving 2 bald spots in her hair?
May 26th.
What happened?
Carla Drew decided to come into the salon on a Thursday with a fully packed house and decided to storm in, yelling and hollering, basically trying to fight me, and also decided she wanted to try to pepper spray me when I began to defend myself.
Coming up, the accusations get amped up.
She has the pepper spray aimed at me like this, and I'm like this, okay, run up, because if you run up on me, I'm gonna fight you.
Plaintiff Carla Drew says Remy caused scalp damage on purpose. She's suing for hair repair and emotional distress. Defendant Remy Jackson says she doesn't know because Carla damaged her own hair. She's countersuing for medical expenses and pain and suffering.
How did she try to fight you?
I'm in the bowl with another client who's 11 years old. My back is towards the door. So as I turn around to bring my client up and out the chair and back to my chair so that I can service her, Carla is storming in, and she comes up and runs up on me, basically. So I put up my guards up and I swung at her. Don't run up on me. Period, point blank. Do not run up on me, especially when my back is turned to you. I didn't know anything about her coming. I didn't know about it. She didn't make a phone call.
What was she saying to you?
She didn't say anything because I immediately began to defend myself because she ran up on me. The face and her look, she stormed in. She didn't say anything.
She pepper sprayed you?
No, she couldn't. The pepper spray wouldn't come out the bottle. She has the pepper spray aimed at me like this, and I'm like this. Okay, run up, because if you run up on me or if you do anything to me, I'm gonna fight you. I have a little 11-year-old girl standing here behind me. So I immediately go into like mama bear mode because you're trying to fight me And I have people, there were people everywhere. That service on that one particular little girl was a $250 service that I could not complete because of what happened.
Did you do that? Did you go in the salon with pepper spray?
This is what happened, Your Honor.
She was charged and found guilty in the court of law.
You could.
Yes.
Wait. The police were called?
The police was called.
And you were arrested?
I called the police.
You were arrested?
So why would I call the police if I had pepper spray?
Girl,
I'm asking you, were you arrested?
Yes, I was arrested.
Were you found guilty?
And what were you charged with?
I was charged with disorderly conduct. That's it. No assault. Just disorderly conduct.
And you pled to disorderly conduct?
I pled guilty. I made a plea, and it was a misdemeanor one, and they made me do an anger management class because I interrupt the business. I called the police.
That's kind of what happens when you run up on somebody. You know, there's a better way to handle if you're not happy with your hair.
She never apologized to any one of us.
I'm talking to her. I apologize to the, Your Honor, legally, I apologize.
To the court?
To the court.
What's a legal apology?
Right,
I don't know. Because the simple fact, that's breaking the law.
You didn't run up on the court, you ran up on the defendant.
I apologize.
You should have been apologizing to me.
I don't apologize to her.
Oh, okay, you're going to apologize to
I apologize for breaking the law.
And so what, did you have to, and was there an order in that case, entered in that case?
Anger management class. I just pled guilty because I didn't feel like going through the whole legal procedure. I just said, you know what, I don't have time. I do the anger management classes.
Just get that on out of the way.
Just get it out the way.
You don't really need it, is what you're telling me, but you just want to get that out of the way.
I want to get that out the way. Because, can I say something, Your Honor?
Have you started the classes?
I start Friday.
You testified?
Oh, they said
they
she
didn't
was a
require
drama
for me
queen.
to testify because I was a victim in the case.
And so you pled guilty to disorderly conduct, have to take 10 anger management classes, and have to pay $1,200 in restitution
to my
the
lawyer.
defendant.
That was the plea. Because he said, can I just say something, Your Honor? He said that she was so dramatic and she took the 10 on the 2 so much to the prosecutor, he was scared that they may
Who's dramatic?
He said that she went to the prosecutor and act like we got into this big brawl in this establishment. They said she was so dramatic that he was scared. And I've never been in trouble. I'm a teacher. He was scared.
Oh, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
What do you teach? What do you teach?
High school.
What
English and reading.
You're talking about the prosecutor being scared?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I was a prosecutor. We see cases like this day in, day out, 10 times a day. This case is nothing compared to what we see as prosecutors. So you're not going to come in and tell me that she ran some game on a prosecutor. This is a disorderly conduct case, right? We do these cases with our eyes closed. Assaults, murders, gun cases.
Right.
Those are the bread and butter cases. If we're scared about anything, it's not this case. So please don't come in and tell me that she scared the prosecutor so much. That's why you got this disposition.
My lawyer said that. My lawyer
I'm
said
just telling
that
you.
She was so dramatic.
Ma'am, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. That's not it. That's not what happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, the prosecutor thinks you need anger management classes.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And if you're unsatisfied with the hairstyle, you know, there are certain ways you can handle this. You said you know the owner for 10 years. You said you've been a client at the salon for 10 years. Make a phone call. Take some photos, make an appointment. But what you don't do is, and now you know this because you have to pay her $1,200 in restitution and 10 days of anger management classes, right? What do you do when one of your students acts out in class? 10 days of detention. That's what you got. 10 days of detention for running up on somebody with some pepper spray.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the ladies take the bad hair day to the next level.
The owner, let me tell you about the owner. They was in correlation together.
Let me tell you.
Now
we're in correlation.
I called the owner. Give me opportunity to talk. That's her problem.
Y'all are something else. Both of you.
Plaintiff Carla Drew says Remy is an unprofessional hairstylist. She's suing for hair repair and emotional distress. Defendant Remy Jackson says she doesn't know because Carla is the client from hell and has major anger issues. She's countersuing for medical expenses and pain and suffering.
So what were you going to do? When you went into the salon, what was that going to solve? You busted up in there.
The owner, let me tell you about the owner. They was in correlation together. Let me tell you.
Now we're in correlation.
I called the owner. Give me opportunity to talk. That's her problem. Listen, I called the owner, Your Honor. The owner never returned my phone call, number one. And number two, by me going to all these different people and dermatologists looking at it, I'm not gonna lie, I got in my emotions because the simple fact, I thought she did it maliciously. I did lose my cool, but I did call the owner. And you know what? And her attitude was so bad. You know you did it maliciously. No. Instead of you calling somebody, that wasn't a mistake.
That was
honey, I spent plenty of money of letting people see it. It was not a mistake.
You're making an allegation that she intentionally cut this hair out of your head A, from the photos you submitted, I just don't see that there are these bald spots in your hair.
Read the doctor's.
And B,
No.
looking at the doctor's report, you went to a dermatologist because you thought you had another issue. You thought maybe your hair was
Right.
coming out for another reason. But his conclusion doesn't support the fact that this was done intentionally or maliciously. You weren't sure what happened here. You say now that she cut your hair on purpose, but you weren't sure. That's why you went to the doctor, because you wanted to make sure that there was nothing medically wrong with your scalp, because you said that you had 2 spots missing from your scalp. What is your countersuit about? She's already been ordered to pay you $1,200 in restitution. What were your medical expenses?
Well, Your Honor, due to the fact that Carla Drew, when she ran up in my salon,
I know her name.
She ran up in the salon. She parked her car in a place where would nobody be able to see her. So me having every week for the past few months of going through this, I'm getting letters from lawyers about the situation, about being sued, because she literally went to civil court after this to file suit against me. So I'm getting all of these letters. I'm pretty much feeling that she'll probably do it again. So a month, I'm very angry. I'm very
Her
upset.
classes start on Friday.
Right.
I think she's gonna be. She might be okay.
Why would I risk that?
But you're not telling me what out-of-pocket medical expenses you have. What are your actual medical expenses that you want her to pay for?
Well, it's more than medical expenses. She's paying me restitution for the money that I missed.
I understand
Right.
that, but you're
Medical
suing now for medical expenses. Do you have proof that you went to the doctor and you have $1,200 in out-of-pocket medical expenses?
Oh, it's pain and suffering. This girl caused me to have anxiety.
Remy Jackson?
Yes, I do.
Remy Jackson.
Yes, I do.
Do you
I
have proof?
that? Yes, I do. And also a week after the situation,
I want to see your
8th,
proof of don't stop talking. Find me
Okay.
the $1,200 you spent out of pocket in medical expenses.
Oh, no, I'm not spending $1,200 in medical expenses. I have bills.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. The judge has already ordered her to pay you $1,200 in restitution.
Yes, the
And there's a
restitution does
reason for
not
that.
include medical expenses. Restitution does not include pain
I
and
just
suffering.
asked you for your out-of-pocket medical expenses. You say you don't have any. You
Well,
have
no, I
insurance.
haven't paid them yet. They're a bill from the emergency room, my emergency room
Taking
visit, which
paperwork.
I do have proof
I
that
just,
I've
you,
been
and you
with.
didn't bring that with you today?
Yes,
You
yes,
didn't-
I did.
Let me see a copy of the bill.
Oh, no, I don't have the bill. I'm sorry.
She a crook.
I'm not a crook. You're
All
the
right,
crook.
ladies.
Y'all are something else. Both of you.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
I've had some hair cases, but this one ranks in my top 2 in terms of the issues here. You can't expect to go into a salon and continue to put color on your hair and bleach your hair and put all of these chemicals in your hair and walk out looking like Becky with the good hair. It's not going to happen. You haven't proven to me 2 things. I wanted to see one of 2 things in this case. That your claim is that she intentionally did this to you. You haven't proved that she intentionally did anything to you. Second, you haven't even proven that she was negligent. If indeed you have these 2 spots, because I can't really see it from your photos, if indeed you really have these 2 spots, you can't even prove to me that she was the one that negligently caused the spots based on the fact that you had this process done on May 15th. You don't even show back up to the salon until May 26th. I'm not convinced of your claim at all. Your claim is dismissed for obvious reasons. You don't have the proof here in court today, but I'm not ordering her to pay you for, you say, intentionally damaging your hair. You haven't proven your case. Case dismissed.
She's unethical, and what goes around comes around.
Hopefully she can find somebody that's going to take care of that mess that's on top of her head, and she'll be okay. But stay away from me.
Plaintiff Mark Arvo says the defendant conned him into buying a Manhattan hair salon, and he should get his non-refundable deposit back. He's suing for a deposit. Defendant Zeph Palucci says he doesn't owe because Mark pulled out of the deal, and that means the deposit isn't going to be returned.
Mark Arvo,
Yes, Your Honor.
you were suing the defendant, Zeph Palucci,
Yes, Honor.
for $5,000. You say he owes you a return of a deposit.
Yes.
For a business you were planning to purchase from the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
As I understand it, you put down a $10,000 deposit, but the maximum in small claims court in your jurisdiction is $5,000.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
you chose to go the small claims court route and sue for just $5,000.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of business do you own, sir? Were you selling at the time?
I have a shop called Universal Master Hair Salon.
Oh, it's hair salon.
Yes.
Okay, and you own the hair salon.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you take me from the beginning and tell me what happened, sir?
Yes, somebody brought me to him and said the person who wants to sell his business, he always wanted, and he feels sick. That's why the reason he's selling it.
Oh, he was feeling sick?
Yeah, that's why he wants to sell, because he can't run the business no more.
And you always wanted to own a salon?
No barbershop, but I like the location. The rent was decent.
What part of the city? What neighborhood?
Midtown.
Midtown.
Midtown, 51st Street, and between
Very
3rd
good
and
location.
2nd. Yes.
Okay. Now, had you been in business
No.
like this before, so this would be your first
Yes.
venture as a business owner?
Yes.
Okay, so you approach him, you have a conversation. What is the agreement between the two of you about the purchase of this property?
Well, my idea was to get the business, but to get a better rent, talk with the landlord, which he didn't give me any information about landlord. He didn't give me any information about his income, the business.
Wait, hold on a second. He's leasing this barbershop from someone else?
From landlord.
Let me see your documentation. So you don't own this space, sir? You lease this space?
Yes.
You lease it from a landlord?
Yes.
So how are you selling it? Are you selling it or are you subleasing it?
In 2014, I become sick with prostate problems, and
Okay.
then I was looking for buyer. So
I understand
then
that, sir.
I find one buyer, and we go spending weeks and money, legal fees, and he changed the mind. So when he changed the mind, then another buyer, Mark, approached me.
Okay, I need you to stop.
Okay.
What authority do you have to sell a business that you don't own?
So I sell just my lease and my business, what I make customer until that.
Okay, so you're selling your lease that you
My
have
lease,
with
yeah,
this landlord,
yeah.
with this landlord.
Yes.
And you have permission from the landlord to do that?
Yes.
So why did this deal fall through? Because he pays $10,000, and it says if the buyer terminates the contract, the security deposit is non-refundable. So why did this deal not go through?
Because I tell to him, if he want to buy, then to come and to give me 10,000 deposit, non-refundable, and to sign agreement.
If he wanted to buy the business or take over this lease, right, he paid the $10,000 deposit, why did that not happen?
Because he changed the mind. And
Who changed his mind?
he changed, Mark changed the mind.
You changed your mind?
Yeah.
I have a reason for it.
Why?
First of all, before I give him deposit, he told me he's got to add employers for him, working for him. Then he didn't show me any income of the business. I didn't see any employees. He didn't give me a chance to watch his business to see what
Okay,
customers got.
no. That's on you. You do your due diligence before you give somebody $10,000. Is there anything that prevented you from legally entering into this agreement?
Yes, the landlord, because he don't let me speak to the landlord any information. Even my attorney said, I don't know how you deal with this, because the reason why it goes this way, because you give him deposit and he's manipulating you. He told me if you don't
You
want...
did not speak to the landlord?
No, not at all.
Show me proof, sir, that your landlord approved you to lease this property to the plaintiff. Show me your proof.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the rest of the story is revealed.
I don't know why you're in small claims court suing for $5,000, because based on what you testified to today, you got to make a police report with the NYPD, because this is serious.
I will.
Plaintiff Mark Arbo says Zeph misled him about the details of the business deal. He's suing for a deposit. Defendant Zeph Belushi says he doesn't know because Mark pulled out of the deal.
I know you have a letter from your landlord to support your case, right?
No, lawyer. I have my lawyer there.
I don't want a letter from your lawyer. Your defense is your landlord, that he is the one that didn't go through with the agreement. This is a lot of money. It's a very simple case.
Okay.
Did your landlord allow you to assign your lease to the plaintiff or not?
Yes.
I want to see the proof of that in my courtroom now.
I don't have with me.
Okay, that's a problem. What do you mean you don't have it with you? That's the most important piece of evidence in this case. That leads me to believe that the landlord did not want to assign the lease to him and you kept the $10,000. Why do you still have the money?
The period of 3 months, lawyers working with his lawyer, with Mr. Marco's lawyer, I lost income $7,000 and $7,000 fees to lawyers.
I don't know why you're in small claims court suing for $5,000, because based on what you testified to today, and I actually want to read something from your statement to the court. This is what you wrote, sir. Mark was aware that we needed to get the landlord's approval to move forward with this deal. We didn't anticipate any issues since both of our attorneys were being very thorough. Mark must have become impatient because my attorney informed me that Mark was trying to contact the landlord. I knew that would aggravate the landlord and told my attorney to pass the message along to Mark to not contact the landlord. Mark also had mail coming to my building, and this annoyed the landlord. The landlord ended up refusing to transfer the lease into Mark's name. However, I wasn't discouraged. I thought we could still work something out. There's nothing else to be worked out, sir, if the landlord refuses to transfer the lease. You owe him his deposit back. You know why? Yes, deposits are non-refundable if the buyer changes their mind. If the buyer changes his mind because for legal reasons it's impossible to go through with the sale, then the deposit is not non-refundable. As a seller cannot take a $10,000 deposit and then turn around and say, well, my landlord changed his mind, this deal can't go through, but oh well, the deposit is non-refundable. That's straight up theft. You understand? Straight up theft. Have you heard of situations where he's done this with other people?
A few people, but I find one person was last minute, it was my luck, and also took $1,000 and told him the same thing.
How did you find this person?
Just rumors, and I was in the party, and I was speak to somebody who's in the business, and he just said, I know this guy, and it happened to me too.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Listen, if he has no proof that this landlord, which he does not, because it does not exist,
yes,
because of his statement, the landlord refused to go through with the deal, you are owed your $10,000 back, sir.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I can only order him to pay you $5,000 in this court. However, if you believe this is a case of fraud and collusion,
yes, I do.
You got to make a police report with the NYPD because this is serious.
I will.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Thank you, Honor. It is fraud, and I believe it, because whatever he done to other people is not fair, and I want to take him out, and this way he doesn't do to other people.
I don't have approved with me, but I have approved. So this is what I want to say.